Hi guys!
Hello.
Welcome to the 13th episode of the How I Got Into series. Today we have a very special guest, Peter. Today we're doing Oxford. Peter is a freshman at this university and he will share with us his successful application. So let's get started. What high school did you attend?
I went to Bangkok Patna in Bangkok, Thailand.
Nice.
Yes.
Where were you born and what is your nationality?
I was born in Thailand and I'm Thai.
What major did you apply as?
I applied for philosophy, politics, and economics.
Nice. How was the admissions test?
I think the admissions test was probably the most difficult thing there. Because
Okay. Or maybe what is the admissions test first of all?
For UK unis, there are some unis and some courses which force you to do an extra admissions test. And for us, for PPE, we had to do the TSA, which is a logic thinking skills assessment. And they give you these paragraphs and they're oh, what is wrong with the paragraph? What is wrong with the argument? You have to be oh, the premises don't match the conclusion, it's contradictory, or it's tautological, circular. It's
It's hard.
really
right?
stupid logic stuff. And it's just,
How hard was it? On a scale of 1 to 10.
it was 8.59,
Okay.
so it was
How
really
hard is
tough.
the SAT, for example?
The SAT English was
Oh,
7, so yeah.
Harder than the SAT. How did you do on that? Or you didn't open your scores.
I didn't open
So
this
he
one. So I
we
actually
don't
don't know
know.
how I did.
probably did well though. So
I don't think so.
What classes did you take junior and senior year?
So I did the IB. So for higher level, I took math, econ, and music. And for standard, I did Thai, English, and physics. Yeah.
Nice. What was your IB predicted?
My predicted was 42.
Okay, what did you get on your SAT?
I got a 1530 on my SAT.
Did you have an interview?
Yeah, I had three interviews, yeah,
From Oxford.
from Oxford, yeah.
How was it? How was the interview?
Dude, the interviews are so hard. For the philosophy one, they're just do you think you can lie to yourself?
Oh,
And
wow.
they just keep pressing you until you get a contradiction, and then they tell you dude, earlier you said this, and then now you say this. It doesn't match up. Your logic doesn't add up. Do you know where you went wrong here or something?
Oh my god.
So,
that's so scary.
At the end, I just copped out. I brought out my violin, right? And I was I played 10 notes the same and one slightly out of tune. And I asked the examiner
Oh, wow.
hey, do you think all of these notes are the same note or not? And they all said I think it's the same note. And I'm just you just lied to yourself, dude.
Wait, that's so smart. That's really smart.
It's because I wasn't smart enough to answer the question, so I had to do something stupid.
Wait, so you were just trying to answer the questions? How did you think of the idea to just get a random violin?
To be completely honest, I sort of knew before I had to stand out somehow.
Okay.
I was if there was a chance, I wanted to use a violin in some of the answers, perhaps for philosophy of art or logic or something. Yeah, I was just I can't answer this. I'm just gonna do something stupid and Hail Mary.
Okay, that is super smart. Nice,
Thanks.
nice. What was the hardest question that they gave you, or what was the most memorable moment, except for the violin part?
I think for econ, it was pretty normal. They just gave a lot of graphs. They asked us to optimize or try and analyze what the graphs meant
Okay, wow.
and link it to macro and stuff.
Uh-huh.
But politics is really, really good.
Okay.
They're do you believe in democracy or not? Do you think democracy is always the best option?
Okay.
And I think that if you answered yes, I always think that democracy is the best option, the interview would probably end really, really quickly.
Okay.
But if you're no, it depends on culture, context,
Yeah.
temporal, geographical factors, and it's a bit more nuanced. And
Okay.
you need
So
to
always have your answers be it depends, and have nuances. Right?
Yeah, I think so, and I also think that they like it when you try and be a bit controversial and try and defend a controversial opinion,
Yeah.
rather than giving a textbook cookie cutter answer that's perfect. Yeah.
So There is no like section to put in your extracurriculars. Well, just briefly, I guess. What were some activities you did in high school, extracurricular stuff like that, just so we can get a good idea of what you did.
Okay, so I'm very into like diving, outdoor stuff, like the
Okay.
ocean, and I did like a lot of like water sports when I was younger.
Uh-huh.
So like I'm really into the environment and like nature and stuff like that. So with my friends at like BPS, we started like this organization called the Youth Fund, which we did like a lot of educational stuff. Like we saw that like everyone is doing educational stuff.
Okay,
Everyone's like Longian Wat, Son,
Okay,
and
right,
something
okay.
like that. And our friends were like really interested in the environment as well. So we launched this like project where we would organize diving like reef cleanup trips, and instead of just like getting the nets up and putting them to landfills, we'd make them into like products that you can use every day. So we made like at first we made like plant pots or like water bottles, and then like now we're working with this company to make like badminton nets and like volleyball nets from like recycled fishing nets.
Oh, so cool!
Thanks. So that's probably like
The top project.
thing I was like the most actively involved in. And then like after doing environmental stuff, like we were invited to go to like environmental camps in Thailand to like speak at some events with like the ministry and stuff like that. And yeah, I somehow ended up at COP 28 in Egypt last year.
Whoa.
So that was pretty cool, yeah.
Nice. Now for the essays, were there supplements or just one essay?
They only had one essay, like which they call the personal statement.
Okay.
But I think that's like changing now for like
Oh.
next year or something.
Okay,
But-
interesting. Well, we don't know too much about that, but we'll put up Peter's personal statement so you guys can pause and read it. Yes.
I think like for the personal statement for the UK, it's like mostly about
Why this?
why this major.
Yeah,
They're
okay.
not really interested in you as a person. They're just interested in like why you're a fit for their course.
Okay.
And like that's a bit degrading sometimes, but you play the game. So
Thank you so much for sharing the essay.
no worries.
Um,
It's very dry, disclaimer.
so we're gonna move into the last section of the video, tips. What is your top tip for the viewers who are struggling trying to apply to UK schools in specific?
Yeah, I think for UK schools in specific, the personal statement is probably the way where you can like differentiate yourself out the most, because everyone that applies to like UK unis have to like be above the minimum like threshold anyways.
Yeah.
So as long as your grades are like what they require of you, that doesn't become a factor anymore,
Yeah.
and everything else is like dependent on your personal statement in the interview.
Yeah.
So I'd say like to show why you really love the subject, do more than just like read or like stuff in school, but actually find like one thing about it where you can actually act. Or like for me that was environmental policy. I tried to like
Nice.
do stuff, go to seminars about environmental policy, go to like internships or like at like research institutions about like how economic policy can affect like or urban planning can affect environmental future, international relations, game theory, stuff like that. So like if you're interested in like medicine, perhaps like look at some like part of it like technology or like brain tumors or something and go really deep into that one thing to show your interest instead
Be
of
specific.
yeah, be
And deep.
specific, be deep.
Yeah, be deep.
Also, it's also a place where you can talk about, how do I say it, your soft skills as a person as well. And so concrete examples will definitely help.
For example.
Like, for example, don't just say that, oh, I have strong leadership skills and I'm a social person. Perhaps give an example of like a project you did or like people that you collaborate with, for example. The interview, I recommend like, if you're doing like Oxbridge or like medicine or like a really hard course, stalk the people that are interviewing you. Go on their LinkedIn, read their papers, and when they ask you a question, right, you can like, reference like stuff which they've done research on, but don't tell them that, and then they're gonna like remember you and be like, oh, this kid thinks like me, I like him, I like him.
Okay.
Or like you can guide the convo into like a field you're interested in. For example, if they're talking about economics and you're interested in inequality, you can slowly like shift it towards your comfort zone and that'll make you seem like deeper than you actually are. So I think, yeah, don't always feel like you have to follow what they're saying. You can also like seize initiative and
Nice. Was it really stressful for you applying to Oxbridge? Like what was it like?
I think it's definitely very stressful and a bit more stressful than my US friends, for example.
Okay.
Because like there's like 3 rounds where you have to like lun, right? I don't know what the word is.
Anticipate?
Yeah, anticipate. Because like one, you have to get the interview, and then after the interview, you need to get the offer.
Okay.
And then for
And
like
then-
IB
that's
results
so
day.
true.
So it's like 3 times the stress.
Yeah,
not
like
really,
there's
but
3 rounds of
yeah.
like intense stress, I guess.
Yeah.
That is very tough. But you made it. Congrats.
Thanks. Do you
So,
have any
like-
tips for applying to Tufts?
This is not. I already did a video on that.
I watched it.
I'm sure you did. For those of you who are applying and you're probably stressed, what would you like to say to them?
I'd say like take it day by day. It's so cliche, but like just focus as much as you can on each step. Like before the UCAS deadline, just try and grind the personal statement out. For the interviews, do all the research. I made like documents on like each subject about like the key talking points which I thought were like interesting or like that the examiners maybe wouldn't have heard of. Because there's always going to be like those Korean, the Japanese, the Chinese kids who are like perfect score, 1600 SAT. But so yeah, you have to find like some controversial stuff that you can back up to like separate yourself. And also like if you're in year 13, right, live life. Don't just worry about college.
Yeah, live out your senior year.
Yeah, it monopolizes your time and stress and attention. So
Yeah. One question, was it hard for you to choose a major to apply into? Because I think many people might be like, oh, I really want to do econ, for example, but it's kind of competitive. Can I choose an easier major? Would I have a higher chance? And is it, what's your tip on choosing a major?
I think that's the bad thing. Like the one negative about the UK is it's so like vocation focused.
Okay.
Like they want you to know like ever since like when you apply or like maybe even 2-3 years prior to application.
Yeah.
What you want to do, and it's also very rigid in that you can't change course like halfway.
Yeah.
So I would say that if you do know like what you're interested in, if you are really passionate about a subject, just choose that subject and apply to the UK. But if you're still like unsure and you apply here, it sort of like locks you in and you have like no room to maneuver as much.
So would you say that choosing a major just because it's easier to get into is a bad idea?
Yeah, like if you don't like it, it's gonna be pain. It's gonna be hell because they make
Because you can't change it. Yeah.
And it's so deep and like like for me PPE is alright because you can like sort of choose your modules a bit. You can drop one of the 3 next year.
Okay.
And you can like, are you interested in development, economics, micro, macro? So there's like wiggle room, but yeah.
So do what you like. Don't just choose a major. It's different than the US. The US you can choose kind of strategically, kind of, because you can change it anytime, kind of. But in the UK you can't really do that because if you want to change it, you have to reapply into So choose wisely, right? Yeah. How was your first semester at Oxford?
Okay. So they do like this 3-term thing where like each term is like really, really short and they condense the education so much that is like during Monday to Friday you have like no breathing room. It's just assignments, readings, lectures. So it's like really, really like condensed and really, really tough. But the people in Oxford, the people in London, they're all like really supportive and really nice. So it's like, yeah, there's other people suffering with you. So
Okay.
yeah.
How's the workload? Super hard.
Yeah, like I have some friends that are like doing essays until like 4 a.m. on the morning is due. They're just like they send the email. Oh, here is my attached essay at like 4:30 in the morning.
Oh my god, that's horrible.
Yeah.
So it's way harder than IB, in your opinion.
I think like it depends on the course, but yeah, it can get a lot more difficult than that.
Okay. And also one other question. you are very successful in getting high grades to be able to come to this institution. Can you share some of your like study tips for for our juniors and seniors?
Yeah, I think my study tips were like really bad when I was in high school, but like coming here, I think the best thing is like for essay-based subjects.
Okay,
like,
essay-based subjects.
I just make a lot of essay plans, or like I use like there's this amazing app called like Anki, where they use like AI and you can make like flashcards and then it like you choose whether you're like good, medium, hard for like each question, and then it randomizes the like when each flashcard comes up, like in a productive way.
Nice.
So like using that and then like using like memory recall techniques like mind maps and yeah, and also take breaks. Don't get stressed because if you're too stressed, play golf.
He's a bit obsessed.
No.
Recently. Oh, is there a lot of like school spirit in Oxford?
Our mascot's the color, dude.
Oh, actually?
Yes,
What color
Oxford
is it?
Blues.
Oh,
That's
blue?
Our like entire personality trait is like hating Cambridge, so
Okay.
yeah.
Love that. What is the one thing you love about Oxford and the one thing you hate about Oxford?
What I love about Oxford are like the people, and they're all like really like passionate. And I feel like the thing about Oxford people is that like they're all super smart about their subject, but they also have like other passions, and it's so cool when you talk to someone who actually like loves something really much. Like the people in orchestra there, they're all like super good. Like there's like chess grandmaster. You randomly talk to someone and you're like, oh my god, dude, you're on like the national team for fencing or something. So it's like everyone's just super cool and chill, and they drink so much. England's just like, oh bro, cheeky pint.
What's one thing you dislike about the school?
The rain, dude.
Oh.
It rains every day.
Actually?
And like it's like the rain's not the issue. It is like -5. It's raining and you're like super wet. You're going to England weather.
That is pretty bad. That is it. Thank you so much for coming on this series.
Thanks for having me. I hope this is informational for you guys.
Can I give your Instagram out?
Yeah, sure.
Can they text you if they have any questions?
Sure, yeah.
So go follow Peter on Instagram. Text him if you guys have any questions. And that is it. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.